For me, it was huge, obviously, to see Sasha in that light and to get that spotlight.
Hey there, everyone. Rick Ucchino here again for Sportskeeda Wrestling, and you know who my guest is. She needs no introduction, but I'm going to give her one anyway. She is the first ever Women's Grand Slam winner in WWE, Money in the Bank winner, the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion in company history, and the #1 host of WrestleMania 37. Bayley joins me now. Thank you so much for your time. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. Thank you. That was such a great introduction, but you forgot to say ding dong. Hello.
You know, if I had gotten your shirt yet, because it hasn't shipped yet, I would be wearing it and I would have remembered. So I do.
Shipped yet? Sure.
I pre-ordered. I swear. So Bayley, obviously a big weekend coming up. We got WrestleMania Backlash, and we're kind of coming full circle here a little bit. You were Bianca's first rival in her ascent up to the top of SmackDown. Now that she's the champ, here's Bayley coming around again to be the first big challenger for that SmackDown Women's Championship. Another title shot aside, what are you looking forward to most about squaring up with the EST again this Sunday?
I'm excited to put her back in her place. You know, I think her head got a little big. I would probably say right after the obstacle course, she started acting a little different, you know. And I think she bit off a little more than she can chew. You know, you already main evented WrestleMania, and now you're stuck with reality. It's looking you right in the face, and her name is Bayley.
And, you know, not only is this an opportunity, you know, for you again to regain your SmackDown Women's Championship, but hard to believe this is your first singles match since February. So, you know, you got to be chomping at the bit to get back in there, especially against Bianca.
I mean, I'll say it has been nice to, you know, not be in front of all these annoying sheep all the time. But I mean, it is going to be fun because I guess I wrestled Liv and Ruby, and I mean, quick little matches. And then we had the Rumble, and that was it. So it has been a really long time, and I am looking forward to, you know, showing my best.
Now, you brought up the obstacle course because you were obviously front and center when Bianca literally hoisted all 330 of Otis up on her back and walked her across the ring like it was nothing. We saw her at WrestleMania catch Sasha after a dive on the outside. She rolls through, walks up the steps, presses her, chucks her back into the ring like it was nothing. I mean, the things that she can do are pretty amazing, and that has to kind of set you guys up. You know, you have to be excited about what you guys are going to be able to do in the ring on Sunday.
Yeah, I am excited. You know, all jabs aside, you know, we never seen anybody quite like her. She kind of has that like Beth Phoenix, Jacqueline, China feel to where she just has a presence about her that nobody can touch her. We have so many amazing, talented, strong women on both shows, all three shows, you know, NXT included, but there's nobody quite like Bianca. So that's why I'm really looking forward to WrestleMania Backlash and showing the world that there isn't really anybody like me either.
That's a very fair point. Absolutely. And you know, going back to WrestleMania here, that match that she put on with Sasha, and I told her this the day after I had a chance to talk to her. I think both her and Sasha put on, you know, one of the top 5 Mania main event matches in the 37-year history of that event. And I know you were watching, you know, from the crowd. What was it like for you to watch that match, and what was your, you know, thoughts on it once it was all said and done there?
For me, it was huge, obviously. To see Sasha in that light and to get that spotlight. And to me, it seemed like only fitting that I was also not wrestling on the card, because otherwise I would have been running around being crazy. We both would have been super busy, but I felt like leading up to it, I was just able to kind of soak in the whole moment, soak in the whole night, soak in, you know, the fans, and it was just unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't know I was going to cut deep there for a second. So, you know,
I'm back.
All right, well let's dive into you here a little bit because admittedly I was one of those sheep as you like to call us. I'm on Twitter. I'm clamoring for something for you to happen at WrestleMania 37. You know, I was so happy to see you when you showed up. Basically took over the hosting duties. I think you had as much, if not more screen time than Hogan and Titus. Of course, that all came to a head with a little scuffle there with the Bella twins on night 2. You know,
God.
how long before Mania did you know that this role for you was kind of to locked in, and what did you think about that angle with the now Hall of Famers?
Well, not to give too much away, but that was a very last minute thing, you know. And I think it did have a big deal to do with people on Twitter and people kind of speaking their voice, which I appreciate, you know. But I would have liked the 2 nights off, guys. It would have been nice to sit back for once. I had to defend so many titles in the past at WrestleMania, so it would have been nice. And then I try to do something good for them, and then I get tossed off the freaking stage by these 2 mothers. So embarrassing. But you know what? It's all good. It's all in the past, and I'm back where I'm supposed to be.
Social media is such a strange monster, isn't it? Because, you know, it can be something like that where fans' voices are heard. And then, you know, there's something like somebody says one little thing and then it builds and it builds and it builds. And all of a sudden you're being mentioned with Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 37, some kind of angle there. And then it doesn't help that you have somebody like Becky who will take a small fire and throw a can of gasoline on it and turn it into a rager. But, you know, it got people talking. As far as you know, was that just wishful thinking or was that option ever on the table?
I think it's just wishful thinking, and I think it's people just ready to see Becky back and ready to see me get my butt kicked, I guess.
Well,
But
see, here's
it's gonna happen because she didn't come back, suckers. She's too busy
and that
being
was
a beautiful mom.
And that was the thing. Like, I think it was wishful thinking for me because not that I wanted to see you get your butt kicked, but because, you know, I'll be happy whatever Becky's doing when she comes back because it's now been a full year since we've seen her. But I want to see that Becky Lynch and Bayley rivalry and feud that we really haven't gotten quite yet to see play out either on Raw or SmackDown. And I know there's a good story there between you two that you guys have to want to be telling sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll happen sometime. We both have, you know, some time left here, and we both still have a lot of things we want to do. I'm sure she has a list of things she wants to do. And the last time I think we were in the ring together may have been when I beat her up with a chair. Maybe a few times after that, but I'm sure she's ready to get her hands on me, and I'll be ready because I've been doing a lot since she's been gone. You know, this is consistent Bayley right here. No time off for me. I've been making moves, Becky Lynch.
I was gonna say that's the story right there. She leaves on top, and now boom, here you are. It's
Yeah,
Bayley. You think she'd
yeah.
want to come back and try to knock you off that pedestal a little bit?
She better start down here. I know she gave up her championship, but that don't mean she's gonna come back and be right back in that picture. She better start out at the very bottom, just like I've been doing. I mean, I've been at the top for the past, you know, over 500 days, but
Right, exactly.
you know.
You know, obviously, you know, you have been doing great work. No hyperbole there, you know, whatsoever. And you seem to be having a ton of fun, you know, playing this role that you're in, this heel role, and you see it in every one of your segments. And again, you excel at it. And you've been, you know, this is something you said that you have pushed for, you know, because you felt like your old character was limited. At this point, though, if WWE said, "Hey, we want you to go back to being, you know, a babyface," you know, would you want to do that? You know, have you given any thought to how this Bayley would transition into being a babyface again?
To me, I think I've always looked at my work in this way, and the reason I think that the hugger gimmick and the ponytail and the stream, the tassels and all that stuff worked back then was because it was my mindset, and it was because of how I really felt. I felt like the underdog for most of my life. I felt like the underdog in NXT. I felt like the fans that were watching because I was still so connected to that fandom, you know. And then when it came time for the character change, it was because I was trying and trying and trying, and things weren't happening. It wasn't going the way I wanted to. So I knew that I had to make a change. And so it was a natural change. So I think the same way, if that were to come up and something were to happen to where they wanted another change from me, it would have to happen organically, and I would have to truly feel that, because it's the only way I could do my best work and how I think, you know, some of the most successful artists and performers do their best work is they have to truly feel it. So if it comes time to that, there has to be a good reason, something behind it, and I have to start feeling less annoyed of all of the fans, I guess.